Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a little different. Not only I'm going to show you how I did this makeup look, but I'm also going to share this cool gadget with you. This is actually Muse Beauty electric rotating makeup brush that I've received from the Muse Beauty recently. At the back of the packaging you can see it talks about the brush head, brush handle, charging cable, and the user guide. So this is the user guide that talks about how to deal with this brush. And then this is the charging cable, and it also comes with the charging connector to the wall. And then it comes with two brushes and the handle itself. So the brush part, it actually opens up. You can then wash it and then put it back on before putting the products into your face again. This actually rotates as well, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the makeup. So first I'm going to go ahead and apply some foundation on my face. I'm using quite a lot, but at the same time I want to see if, even though I'm applying a lot, I want to see if this brush is able to give me the coverage I want, or is it soaking it up. So it has two segments. It actually rotates fast and faster. So I have put it into a fast mode, not the fastest one. So I'm just going in a rotating mode. But actually the recommended way of using it is it's telling you to go swipe it back and forth, but I'm still going in a round and round motion, and I'm slowly gonna work my way, and I'm gonna start working it in like back and forth motion very soon. But so far I have to say this, and I'm not done applying this foundation yet, but after I finished it, I actually love the way it covered most of my blemishes. The foundation is definitely thick and dried really fast, but I find that this brush was definitely good enough in terms of spreading the foundation on time and did a really good coverage with putting the product on the right place without swiping out the product or eating much of it. The brush and the bristles are amazing. Like, as you can see, as I'm putting the foundation on, like, it covers very, very well. And I actually thought this brush would eat up my product, or it's gonna basically leave a lot of streak marks, but it didn't leave any streak marks on my face. In fact, it blended out really well. Very impressive. After the foundation has blended so well, it's time for concealer, and it's time to put this baby to test. Concealers are usually a lot thicker in terms of its consistency, and therefore it's very important that I get to test this baby in terms of concealer to really examine if this brush is good or not. I find that a lot of times brushes don't work very well with concealer, so I often have to go back to my beauty blender to blend the edges out. So it's really good way to test this brush out. So before I went into blending this concealer out, I actually pressed on speed 2 because I did want to test out the fastest motion. Also at the same time, concealers tends to dry out a lot faster, so it's good if you can blend it a lot faster than usual. I'm actually really impressed by the way it's blending it out, especially nose, because what happens is that when you're about to blend the concealer on your nose, it tends to move the product around a lot, but this brush actually did a good job, so I'm very, very impressed with its job quality. Also, I recommend you to use it in a circular motion while blending your concealer out, just because concealers are a lot thicker, so it may tend to leave out streak marks. Although so far it hasn't left me with any streak marks, which means I do not have to use my beauty blender. I can just use this brush to blend my concealers out. And do not press it really hard against your skin, otherwise it's going to stop rotating. So you want to be very soft and gentle with your circular motions. Once the blending is done, it's time to test this baby with powders. Just to be extra, I know it's recommended to turn off the brush before putting it in the powder, but because it's a pan powder, so I decided to basically just rotate the brush as I'm picking up the powder, and I thought it did a really good job without having much kickback. And I've used the same rotating motion in speed 1 to blend the powder into my face. And I thought it really did a good job in setting my concealer and foundation with the way it picked up the powder and the way it deposited the powder onto my face. It did a really good job. Now, while picking up your translucent powder though, you want to make sure your brush is turned off because you don't want the powder to fly everywhere. And then what I did here is I kept the brush off and I just deposited the powder on my face before I decided to turn it on again on speed 1, and then I started again rotating it in a circular motion to set the rest of my face with this translucent powder. Even the way it set my under eyes, it was very impressive. Time to do some contour. For that, I'm using Deep Dark by MAC. Again, I tried to be a little extra. I kept the brush on as it was picking up on the pan powder, and then I decided to deposit it on my contoured areas. What I like about this brush is it was giving me a very nice soft contour. So people who does not like a lot of harsh contour, they like it to be like soft, especially people who goes to work every morning and obviously do not want to look too dramatic. And first thing in the morning when you walk into the office, you don't want to look like a drag queen walking in. You want to look like a very sophisticated person. This brush, I think, is a best way to get your makeup done because it's really quick, gives you a very flawless, natural finish, and it picks up on the product in a very natural way. So if you are a person who has difficult time with blending or loves a very natural finish, this brush is really, really good. Alrighty, now it's time to pick up the highlights with this brush, and I again kept it on and I used the edges of this brush to grab the highlight and then deposit it on the higher points of my face, and it did a really good job in terms of depositing it on my face. I think when it comes to the powders, it does a really good job. It picks up a very natural finish with the powders. When it comes to the foundation, I think it can really go full coverage. I find like the way it deposited the foundation and the concealer and blending it out onto my face, it did a really good job. It gave you a very full coverage. Also depends on the kind of foundation you use or concealer you use. I went for a little higher, fuller coverage, like medium to full coverage foundations, and the amount I've used were pretty much medium to full, so that's why I think it picked up a very good amount. When it comes to powder, it picks up a very natural way of doing it. Alrighty, so once my foundation base is done completely, all thanks to the Muse electric rotating brush, it's time to really work on my eyebrows. For that, I'm using my Benefit eyebrow pencil in number 4, and I'm just softly covering any sparse areas on my brows and just drawing my brow out. Once my brows are done, it's time to move on to my eyeshadows. For that, I've used my Huda Beauty palette, and I've used these colors that I'm going to show on the screen for you guys to have a look. Although I wasn't very satisfied with the kind of look I created with Huda Beauty palette because I was aiming to create more dramatic look, but do not worry guys, I will come up with more exciting videos where I can also show you how to create dramatic looks using the most dramatic colors from this Huda Beauty palette. I have yet to try and play around with this palette. Once I'm done with my eyeshadow, moving on to my eyeliner. For that, I'm going to be using my Essence liquid liner in shade Black. And I'm just going to create a simple wing liner. Next, for my mascara, I'm using my Revlon mascara in all-in-one. After which, I'm going to be using a nude stick by Rimmel, and then I'm going to be using these two lashes. These are by Bijou lashes. And I'm going to list all the products I've used for this video down below on the description box, but don't worry guys, I'm coming up with more exciting makeup tutorials for you guys with more colorful stuff. This video though was really focused on this brush because this brush was a really exciting one. I never have used this brush before, so I was really excited to show you what this brush is gonna be like. And to basically finish up the look, I'm using my Huda Beauty's lip palette. It comes up with a lip liner, lip gloss, and a liquid lipstick. And then to finish it off entirely, I'm going to spray my entire face with makeup setting spray. And that is the finished look of this makeup look, guys. So overall, I was really impressed by Muse Beauty Electric Rotating Brush. It did a really good job in terms of application of foundation and powder. Also, the way it applied my contour and highlight, I was truly impressed. Definitely, I approve this brush. It's really, really good. So all the product details together with the Muse Beauty brush will be listed below in the description box. I also have a coupon code, so do not forget to check that one out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care.